We're going to get started just the way we always do, talking about the top 3 most buzz-worthy stories. And there was a little bit of a hockey game last night downtown.
Yeah, just a tiny one.
Just a small little event down at HSBC Arena. Well, there's nothing sweeter than a shutout win in a hockey game, especially if it's a playoff game. Just ask any Sabres fan this morning. Ryan Miller made 32 saves last night in his second shutout of the team's playoff series against the Flyers, tying up the series 2-2. And, you know, if it's any indication, the sounds both inside the arena and outside the Party in the Plaza, Sabres Nation certainly approved.
I went to the Party in the Plaza.
It was fun.
1 second, the game is over. And now here's Kirby and Timonen going at it. Kirby and Timonen trying to get at one another, and the linesman break them up.
All right, well, things ended a little rough there last night. Did you see that?
Yeah. You know, it was a great game to watch, and we all know who the real star of last night's game was, Ryan Miller.
That's right.
Although it would have been nice if he played this way all season. It was great to see him back at his absolute best.
Right. I also think the big star last night were the fans. I mean, they showed up and they stayed with the team. Great win.
Yeah, it was a great one.
And now, basically, we're looking at a best of 2 out of 3 series coming up. So,
yeah.
Just like I predicted, I think, a couple of weeks ago.
Did you?
So, yeah, I did. We'll pull up the video when the time's right. All right.
We'll see.
Well, from screaming and all that noise outside, we're talking about crying. And anyone with a baby this morning might want to listen to this story. We have a new study that suggests that babies who cry constantly may be more likely to have behavioral problems when they get older. Now, research says that babies who cried all the time are more prone to have ADHD, temper tantrums, and aggression as older children. Now, this applies to about 20% of infants, and if you are concerned, you should talk to your doctor or physician and work something out with your baby's schedule. But what do you think of that?
I think it's very interesting. Now, I also think it's good to note that this doesn't mean if your baby cries a lot that your child is doomed to have ADHD. Right. But I wonder if any of it has to do with the effect all that crying has on the parent and how you parent your child, because I've babysat a few of my friends' kids, and I know when they cry, I just have no patience. I don't know what to do, and maybe that's a sign I'm not ready to be a mother. But, you know, if your child cries, it's good to remember you're not doomed, but it's also interesting to know what it might mean other than, oh, it's just a baby, they cry.
Right. I know when I was a child, I cried a little bit.
You did, actually, and I found something on your desk that made me laugh, because you didn't just cry as a baby, you continued that
This
crying.
was a birthday present from my mom, by
all the way throughout.
But,
Joe wrote a letter to his mother. This is what it says. Dear Mom, I'm not having a good time here, and I miss you a lot. How sweet. 5 times I have cried and thrown up because I miss you. Please call me because I am very lonely, even with Andrew. I even locked myself in the car when we got here. Joe, how old were you when you wrote this?
9 or 10. That was about 1985.
And this is from when you went to camp, and you cried and
Didn't
you
want to
threw
be
up.
there for that first week.
This letter is absolutely hysterical, and I love that at the end you tell your mom, have a nice day tomorrow.
That's right. I was always making sure she had a good time. Well, thanks for embarrassing me.
No problem, anytime.
All right, well, this next story might creep you out a little bit if you have, you know, a gadget, including an iPhone or an iPad. Researchers in Britain just found out that Apple's latest software can actually track your whereabouts. Cell phone companies have always been able to track their phones' locations, but what's different now is that the info is available right on the iPhone or iPad, and anyone with access to the device can see it. A little creepy for some of us.
Yeah, that's terrifying. I have an iPhone, and I like thinking about the fact that if I were ever lost, someone would be able to find me, or if I were in a bad situation, knowing where I am. But I do think it's a little odd that there's a history kept of all the places you've been.
Right. As of right now, at least, though, that information isn't on the internet. And there was a story earlier today. You can check it out on our website. That when that information is put on online, basically, then it could get a little scary.
Yes.
So we'll keep you posted on that for sure.
Indeed.
Speaking of technology, you have a